This is Angela, giving you news Angie's way. Today we're going to talk about Gordon Sondland. Gordon Sondland put everybody under the bus. He is now the bus driver. He put Trump, Pence, Bolton, Mulvaney, and Pompeo. They all knew about the scheme of the investigations of 2016, Burisma, and the Bidens. He didn't particularly say that he knew about it until after the fact, until Donald Trump himself, in his transcript call, the perfect call, which was a memo that said that he was looking into investigations as he was talking to President Zelensky of Ukraine. He was looking into investigations of 2016, Burisma, and the Bidens. Sondland realized that it was all tied in after that phone call, after the whistleblower talked about the phone call, and after Donald Trump gave us that memo. Sondland says that he would know more and he could speak more if he had his call records that the State Department has. They refuse to hand them over. So he's going on recollection because he did not take notes, as the other ambassadors like Bill Taylor, Mr. Kent took notes. These are career politicians, career civil servants who's been doing this for a long time, so they know what to do. Sondland, remember, bought his ambassadorship through donating money to Donald Trump's campaign. And so since he gave him the money and he wanted to be an ambassador, and Donald Trump said, okay, I'll give it to you. So that's what his stance is. So he's thrown into something that he is not familiar with, that he's not used to. But he was just doing and pleasing Donald Trump. And so in his confession, he just figured he'd just come forward because he doesn't want to serve any time. He's not serving any time, obvious, for anyone, because he just threw them all under the bus. So Sondland is saying that Donald Trump did indeed withhold the aid and the interview or the visit to the White House, which he has never gotten President Zelensky. He held this all up for the investigations on the Bidens, and he wanted this president to publicly say it. They didn't care if it was going to happen or not. He just needed him to say it because Joe Biden is his political opponent. There's the crime right there. So on the Republican side, they're trying to say, oh, well, they did get the aid, and you didn't hear that Donald Trump said, specifically of the investigations of the Bidens. And he said, no, I didn't know until after the fact, until all this came out, the whistleblower and all this. And then Donald Trump brings out his transcript. Then it all tied in. And I put 2 and 2 equals 4. And he said that we all did. Volker, the three amigos, which were Volker, Perry himself, he said we all knew. Even the top, Pompeo, Mulvaney, and even Giuliani. He pretty much put Giuliani on the bus first. He trampled over Giuliani because he said that Giuliani was working on behalf of the president. We all know that when an attorney is working on behalf of you, they speak you. They're speaking your voice. They're working on your best interests. So apparently, Giuliani was doing all of this, orchestrating all of this through the president. And the State Department, Mike Pompeo, knew about it and was in on it. The Vice President Pence knew about it, was in on it. Mulvaney held up the money, knew about it, was in on it. Everybody was in on it. Even Bolton knew about it because he said it was a drug deal and he wasn't going to have no part of it, knew about it. So everyone knew about what was going on. And as Sondland was saying, and as we know, Cohen said, and remember Cohen in his testimony said that Donald Trump doesn't have to say things. He implements things and you know where he's coming from. He's like the Don. He's not going to implicate himself, although he did when he did the transcripts. I don't know how that even. He's not a smart Don, obviously. But anyway, he doesn't try to implement himself or implicate himself. He'll just say things and you know what he means and you just carry it out. So he was saying these things to Sondland, and Sondland kind of knew what he was talking about, but then he really didn't know. So that's why he made that phone call to President Trump, because Bill Taylor found out that they were holding the money on these investigations. He thought it was crazy. He was going to quit. So that's when he said he called Donald Trump, and Donald Trump just said, get this. He asked Donald Trump, so what do you want from the Ukrainians? And Donald Trump says, there is no quid pro quo. I don't want nothing. I just want Zelensky to do the right thing. Really? That's what Donald Trump said? But that's what Sondland says. But there's no reports of the phone calls for us to even know if that's actually was said in that phone call. So we're relying on Sondland on that one, because the State Department refuses, and the White House refuses, to hand over anything that's going to implement or implicate the president. So they hold all the calls, all the documentations, all the text messages, all of that. So the Republicans really don't have an argument, because Sondland kept saying, if I had this information, I could be more transparent with you guys. But I don't, because all I can recollect, because I don't take notes, is on what those calls were about and those text messages. So if I saw it, it would bring, a remembrance. And that's how a lot of us work. A lot of us don't take notes. It's by memory. And things in your life or things that you see would trigger a memory. So that's what he was saying. So the whole investigation was bogus, first of all, because all they wanted them to do was go on CNN and publicly announce that they were investigating 2016 elections after our state intelligence and everyone else has said that the Russians invaded and hacked the DNC, invaded out and had parts in meddling in our elections and hacked the DNC, 2016. All of this, and to say that the Bidens were under investigations. That's all they wanted this man to say, just so he could win the election. Because once he planted that doubt in people's minds about Biden, because he is the top and he is the number one runner in this campaign, that once you put that seed of doubt like they did with Hillary, then it'll be all over with. That he can just ride that wave and call the Bidens corrupt. Like he said, Hillary was crooked. That's all he needed, was his little zing, so he can just carry on with that. And then the Republicans, of course, would have been carrying on with that. And then in his rallies, they would have been like, lock them up. So there you have it. It was a bombshell. See you next time.
Now roll that blunt up and get hella lit. We so strong, you gon' be hella bent. If you don't smoke, still I can get you right. I got that JJ, niggas call me Dynamite. Have fun, come and get you some. We be serving the Suburbans like we federal. on an early flight. I ain't slept in about 2 days, so my eyes is kinda tight. It was just one of the nights, getting higher than the kite. My bitch was drunker than the fish. You could say we was way lit, but we leveled up a bit. Kicking shit like karate. I stay fresher than the mint. I get paper like a print. I don't do no ultimatums, and I ain't worried about no bitch. I get lit like I'm a city. I take flights while I'm on trips. Smoke expensive, real sedity. I like purple on my lips. If you need it, I will serve you like it's tennis ball in this bitch. Softball without the pitch. Say one turn up, well as you wish. Millie rock without the motions. I just hit 'em with assists like damn. Now roll that blunt up and get hella lit.